Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode number 104 of Minnows to Kings back here in SS Cosmos, where we have reached our season 13 season review. Today's episode is just going to be, a quick review of the season. Obviously, then I'll do what I usually do. I'll let it tick over into next season, see exactly where we're at. I may do that at the start of next season, go over any new signings that we've made. I have got a couple already lined up. I'm trying to stop relying on loans, particularly for fullbacks. But yeah, quick episode, end of season review. Player of the season, Pedro Romero. 74 goals in 53 appearances in total. 8.11 average rating. He's been very, very good. Has the 25-year-old. Yoon Young-hee, we've got a D rating for him. That's probably because we paid a lot of money for him. Club record signing, but it's chipped in with 39 assists for us as the 19-year-old. That's a very, very good. Stephen John, on loan from Tottenham. I don't think we actually paid any of his wages or anything like that, but again, chipped in with 13 assists. The new goalkeeper, Marin, done okay. 3 assists himself in 46 appearances for £3 million. He's not the greatest player in the world, though. I am going to maybe look for a goalkeeper in the summer. Mirko Amelsberger he's done okay. He's not been, again, the greatest. They feel that the transfer fee doesn't represent a good deal for the club. We paid £3.4 million for him, but they are pleased to see there weren't any future fees. Ricky North, I feel, is going to be the same with the paying over the odds for him. But Ricky, he's done okay. He's a young man again. Obviously, we made a lot of young signings. In terms of the outs, there was quite a lot of outs this season. Some of the the fringe players, the youth players, we let go. We also made some decent money on some players. Ramiro Sebastian has played 16 times, scored 6 goals for River Plate. Avenatti, the goalkeeper, again, we got a very, very good deal for him, as we did with Engelhardt. Shakhtar paid us a total of 24 million for 2 players, which is really, really good. You can see here the rest of them, though, all fringe players, all sat in the youth team, really. So the season's results, top of the league, we were the champions again, of course, as you'd expect, beating Trey Penny, I believe, in the final. Yes, 5-1 for Trey Penny, who did finish second. The top 5 teams, I want to say, obviously other than us, so the second through to 5th all had players on loan from us, particularly Trey Penny and Penarossa. The goalkeeper for Penarossa did extremely well. And you can see that's reflected in their goal difference of 41 and 38. Normally, most of the teams in San Marino end up on a minus goal difference because of the amount of goals that we score. But yes, B+ from the board. Champions League, obviously knocked out in our group with Real Madrid and Arsenal in it, so I think we did quite well, to be fair. Knocked out in the group. A B from the board again. Pedro Romero chipped in with 10 goals there. In terms of the Europa League, it was a decent run. We got through 3 knockout stages, eventually succumbing to Manchester United again. Alfonso, actually, the top scorer this time around. And again, in the San Marino Cup, Pedro Romero with 10 goals, but again, another convincing cup win to make it 12 in a row, 12 league titles and 12 cups in a row. So the biggest win was a 12-0 win against Juventus de Ghana. Match to remember was a 7-0 win over Dinamo. That was right in the playoffs of the Champions Cup. And the goal of the season was scored by Cirillo. A great strike from a Jalaverde striker as he scores a free kick from the edge of the area. Financially, we've sort of stabilised this season. Obviously, there's still prize money to go in here from coefficients and outstanding prize money from the Champions League. It's just to do with when the dates are and stuff like that. But broadcast revenue is down massively. Again, that may go in with the Champions League. I'm not sure. Sponsorship's gone up. Corporate and hospitality's gone up. Match day and commercial retail, again, has gone up. Ottaviani's selling the most shirts at the club at the minute. I'm surprised Pedro Romero is not the top man there, but you can see merchandise sales. We've again sold a lot of shirts. In terms of the strongest lineup for the season, Marco Silva gets in ahead of Cirillo. That's surprising. Midfield-wise, maybe I would agree with that, yes. Cesarini, of course, we're not renewing his loan, neither with John. But Nunez and Amelsberger, Iryashev, again, some very, very good players in this squad. In terms of goals, Ramiro with 74, Silva chipped in with 40 himself, the San Marise man. He's now got 47 caps. Only 2 goals for San Marino, though. It just shows the quality of San Marino compared to the rest of the world, really. In terms of accolades, we have got some record breakers. Club awards, Fans Player of the Season was Ramiro. Young Player of the Season, Yong Hee. Signing of the Season, Pedro Ramiro. We've already spoke about. Goal of the Season, Chirillo. Pedro Ramiro, 74 goals, which, as you can see over here, is a club record. He's also got the most league goals in the season, which is 53. Yong Hee with 39 assists, which is not actually a record. Player of the matches, 16 for Ramiro. Again, a record there. High average rating was Ramiro, and most passes completed per 90 minutes was Pavel Iryashev with 46. So record-wise, Ramiro's broken a few of them. Chirillo got 6 goals in one game, which is a new record. Luca Brizzi has now made it to 250 league appearances. He's on 77 caps now for San Marino, the 28-year-old. I think there's actually talks of him leaving. I think he wants to go and get some regular first-team football, despite the fact he's played 20 times for us in the league this season. And then Yong Hee, with his massive transfer fee that we paid for him, paid well over the odds, but that's just the kind of thing that we've got to do at the minute with the way the reputations are. So again, it's history in the making. So I'm now going to click forward all the way to the point where the season ticks over, maybe to the start of the transfer window, and we'll go over who we've signed for next season, because I think I've got 4 or 5 players who I've brought in. So I'm going to go just do some clicking forward, really, mashing the spacebar, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Just jumping back in a second quickly, guys. Still mashing the spacebar, but we've actually picked up a reward for Pedro Ramiro. He's won the European Golden Shoe. 79.5 goals from a score of 79.5 from 53 goals, which is absolutely fantastic. He's beaten the likes of Kylian Mbappe, and I don't know who Berto Herrero is, but he looks very, very good, doesn't he? The Espanyol player, believe it or not. But we've got the likes of Carlos Rico and Erling Haaland, previous winners in here. I believe we've got John Avila. He actually got the runner-up. That fantastic season he had for us. But yeah, Carlos Rico is one hell of a player for Barcelona. He was somebody who I had on my radar when he was about 17 years old. Obviously, he didn't want to come, and now he's one of the elite strikers in Europe. And just look how good his polygon is. He is mental. 119 goals in 165 games for Barcelona. It's like Lionel Messi reborn. Haaland, we all know how good Haaland is. Lewandowski's in here, obviously retired now, but we've won it with Pedro Ramiro, which is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, back to mashing the spacebar. Right, guys, we've mashed the spacebar to next season. As you can see, we are on the 1st of July 2034. The 5 new players have come in. They're all 18 years old. There's a couple of first team players, a couple of youth team players. They're not the greatest, but it was more a case of I didn't want to rely on bringing in loans at full-pack position anymore. So David Lestina is a reserve player, 18 years old. Not really going to cut it. This was more a case of loaning him out to another team in San Marino. Next is Miguel Benavides, a young Argentinian central defender. If you have a look at his attributes, for being a central defender, jump and reach is great. Tackling's great, positioning, marking, and not too bad. Heading's okay as well. Good concentration, good aggression, decent bravery, decent strength. Not too bad as a central defender. And in fact, if we actually compare him to Amelsberger, you can see that they're very, very similar. Miguel is slightly better in the air, slightly more physical. Overall, though, I do think Amelsberger is still the better defender. But Benavides is more than capable of being a backup. He did cost us £5.25 million though, so overspent quite a bit. Jorge Casanova is the next player in. He is the new left back, the new left wing back. If we have a look, as a wing back on attack, he's got some decent agility. His pace isn't too bad. He can tackle, he can pass, he's got okay crossing, okay dribbling. Again, not the greatest player in the world. Has got a lot of potential to fill, though. Only 18 years old. If we compare him to, it was Cesarini, although I do actually believe Cesarini has left the club, so I can't actually compare him to him anymore. Obviously, he's not as good as Cesarini, but he's one to build on for the future. 18 years old. It's the theme. We've got a really, really young squad. Bojan Marinic is the next one in. Again, this is under 20s, centre half. Again, not the greatest. Okay potential, 18-year-old. Again, another one to potentially loan out. And then the one that we've spent far too much money on, Hasan Saglam from Turkey, I believe. 12.75 million. This is the new right back. 18-year-old Turk. If we have a look at wing back on attack, again, good acceleration, good agility, good pace, good stamina, good natural fitness there. Crossing's good, dribbling's good, first touch is great. Passing, technique, he can tackle as well. Work rate is fantastic. He's a model citizen. He's got room to improve. He's valued at 21 to 30 million pounds after we've paid 12.75 for him. He's been brought in from Başakşehir. I wonder if he actually played against us last season. It's possible. If we compare him to the current right back though, which is Alfaro, you can see the improvement. Alfaro is slightly better defensively and aerially, but everywhere else, Hasan is a much better player. Attribute-wise, his technicals are much better. Mentals, they're sort of fairly even, but physically, again, other than the jumping reach and the strength, Hasan is much better. So again, this is another one for the future. This is another one who can be homegrown. I love that he's a moral citizen. I love his physicals, his pace and his fitness. So he, again, is one for the future, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a squad that can last for a few seasons, which brings me on to my next point. We've got 14 bids in for players. Carlos Rico underbid from Bayern Munich, the Barcelona striker who I was talking about earlier on in the episode. But Nunez has got so many bids in for him. Look at all the bids in for Nunez. And what we're doing is just hitting that button, reject all. So there was 11 in. Yong-hee underbid. No, sorry. Irishev underbid. Sorry. Marin, goalkeeper, underbid. I'm annoying the players. I am annoying the players with this. They're getting, some of them are a little bit unhappy. Ramiro, he's not actually unhappy. Yong-hee is unhappy though. Irishev, slight concern. Nunez, slight concern again. We've had bids come in for Amelsberger. We've had bids in for Vidal, who I'm keeping around because he's now homegrown. Alfonso is now homegrown as well, which is great. So in terms of what we've actually spent this season, though, 18.25 million, which is not too bad. It's not too bad. It's less than we spent last season. It's still a fair chunk, but again, I've signed some players for the future there for this squad to keep growing. I am still looking. In terms of the club, again, reputation hasn't increased. The training facilities have actually downgraded over the summer, though. But I am in the process of upgrading them again. The board allowed me to do it after I convinced them. But what we want to see is how we're doing coefficients-wise as a club. We're going to start off with the Nation Club coefficients. San Marino are now up to 17th with a 23.625. We are still higher than the likes of Norway. So there's potential to move up one more place there, obviously depending on how we do in Europe again this season. We are going to lose this 3.6 this season, so hopefully this number is going to be higher and that can propel us a little bit higher up. Qualification places, what's that done for in terms of next season? We're now up to 17th, as I said. So next season, I can go straight into the second qualifying round of the Champions League. I actually skip a stage here. But one more place, we get 2 teams into the Champions League and 3 into the Europa Cup. The Conference League. So that is potential for an extra team in Europe next season, with one going into a higher competition, which again is going to help with nation reputations and coefficients for the nation as well, if the other teams can help out. As far as club coefficients are concerned, we are now ranked 23rd in Europe after we added that 20 last season. So we've had a decent last 3 seasons, and of course if we do it again, we're going to drop these 7s off. We're currently on 64, so we're actually higher than Porto ahead of us, higher than PSV, just behind Roma. So, you know, we're up to 23rd in terms of coefficients in Europe, which is fantastic. For the 10-year, which is used for revenue, we're in here somewhere. We're up to 34th over 10 years, and actually worth about £10 million to us. as things stand. I have had the draw for my qualifying for the Champions League. Obviously, I'm not going to show that because it's just it's basically pre-season for us as it is. I have got players at the World Cup at a minute. For example, Young Hee is currently at the World Cup, if they're still in it. Of course, I'm not too sure. They're out. They're out. They got beat 3-0 by Wales. Alfaro was the other one who was at the World Cup as well with Costa Rica. But that is going to be the end of the season, end of season review, basically. It's the end of the episode. I just want to say big thank you again for tuning in, watching. Obviously, I'm going to go through the qualifiers and I'll come back for the draw for the Champions League, and I'll obviously see how the new guys are settling into the squad. And then I think I'm going to do what I did last season, where I'm going to get all 6 group stages, providing we get there, group stage matches into a single episode again, just to try and speed the process up. Obviously, there's not been too many episodes lately, and that's my fault. I have been busy. And on the days where I haven't been busy, I've just sat there and I've gone, I just want to have a sit down. So I'm sort of past that little stage now. My schedule for the next couple of weeks is a little bit clearer. So I'm going to hopefully get back into it, get this save rattled off as fast as I can before FM23 comes out. I've got about a month left, so I really need to get at it. If I don't finish it, I'm probably just going to do it behind the scenes while I'm doing videos for FM23, and I'll just drop a video here and there. This is how Cosmos are doing, because I'd really like to finish this. But guys, thank you very much as always for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.
I don't really know what comes next, I'm just doing my best.